Namaste, angels. This is going to be the weekly general reading. It is from September 10th, which is tomorrow, Sunday, through Saturday, the 16th. I am feeling the need to begin with prayer. I'm not sure, maybe because of all the natural disasters and everything that's going on in the world right now. In America, here where I live, we have several states in the West that are basically on fire. Montana, California. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to list everything. We have the flooding here. We have Hurricane Irma on its way. It's already in Puerto Rico, which is also part of the United States. People keep leaving that out. So that's why I don't want to make that mistake of listing things. But Puerto Rico has been, ravished. Some of the Virgin Islands, U.S. territories also. So all over the world, like I was saying, the mudslides that I mentioned earlier in Sierra Leone, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned those. So just prayers for everyone all over the world, prayers for humanity and for Mother Earth herself. Deliver us, Lord, from every evil and grant us peace in our day. In your mercy, keep us free from sin, harm, danger, and protect us from all anxiety as we wait in joyful hope for your return. Amen. All right, so that said, September 9th, today, is Mercury in Virgo. And it's more, I guess, formally called by people who are astrologers. I am not one and don't claim to be one in any way, shape, or form, but the Virgo ingress. And what that means is when Mercury was in retrograde not that long ago and making some of us quite miserable and irritable and all that kind of stuff, it went direct in Leo on September 5th. And it's in shadow now. And in that shadow, it has moved as of today, September 9th, back into Virgo. It will remain there and end there when it exits its shadow on September 19th. September 19th, something else was going on. The opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces is also on the 19th. And I know I have some personal things. My ex's birthday is the 19th. Not that I'll be celebrating, but it's prominent in my mind right now. Maybe because Facebook suggested him 3 times today. I don't know what that was about. It's my niece's birthday. My niece that just moved away from home for the first time as an adult. It's her birthday too. So anyway, the Mercury retrograde will end completely, leave its shadow as well as of the 19th. What else is going on in astrology this week? That may be it. I think that is it to cover the period of this reading. So I'll move on to astronomy. Let's do astronomy. Our astronomy is going to begin with Monday, September 11th, I think, because I already included through Sunday tomorrow in last week's general reading. This is from astronomy.com, as it always is, by the way. Monday, September 11th, of course, the anniversary. So another reason for prayer. Maybe that's why that was brought up into my heart also. Monday is the anniversary of the terror attacks of September 11th, of which I am an immediate survivor. I live blocks away from the Trade Center. Blocks. Like short distance of blocks, less than 10, less than 5. So yeah, it will be a somber day in my neighborhood on Monday and across the country and other parts of the world too that mourn that day and those we lost with us. So prayers for that as well. Monday, September 11th. Although Neptune appeared at its best opposition 7 days ago, its visibility hardly suffers this week. The outermost major planet lies low in the southeast as darkness falls and climbs highest in the south around midnight local daylight time. Neptune glows at a magnitude of 7.8, which is bright enough to spot through binoculars if you know where to look. The trick is to find the fourth magnitude star, Lambda Aquarii, which lies about 10 degrees southeast of Aquarius, distinctive water jar asterism. This week, Neptune appears 1.0 degrees east of this star. When viewed through a telescope, Neptune shows a blue-gray disk measuring 2.4 inches across. And it just came to my mind for the astrology. I'm pretty sure Mars is also still in Virgo. So both Mars and Mercury in Virgo as of today. Tuesday, September 12th. Mercury makes an impressive appearance before dawn in mid-September. It reaches greatest elongation this morning when it lies 18 degrees west of the sun and appears 11 degrees high in the east 30 minutes before sunrise. The innermost planet shines at a magnitude of -0.4 and is the most conspicuous celestial object near the eastern horizon. If you can scan this region with binoculars, you will also see the first magnitude star Regulus, some 2 degrees above Mercury, and the ruddy glow of Mars, 3 degrees to Mercury's lower left. I guess that would have reminded me if I did forget, because they just put Mercury and Mars together. Wednesday, September 13th. Last quarter moon arrives at 2:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It rose in the east-northeast late yesterday evening, shortly before midnight, and it climbs high in the east before dawn. During this period, our half-lit satellite lies among the background stars of eastern Taurus, the Bull. The moon reaches perigee, the closest point in its orbit around Earth, at 12:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It then lies 229,820,000 miles, which is 111, from Earth's center. 229,820 miles. Thursday, September 14th. Any clear evening during the first half of this week is a good time to explore the constellation Sagittarius the Archer. This star group lies due south and at peak altitude around 8:30 p.m. local daylight time, near the time twilight ends. The brightest stars within the constellation from a distinctive asterism in the shape of a teapot. The central regions of the Milky Way pass through Sagittarius, so it's always worth exploring the region through binoculars or a telescope. I guess they're saying you may get to see extra stuff. Friday, September 15th. Although Saturn reached opposition three months ago, I almost said days, it remains a tempting target in the evening sky. The ringed world stands some 25 degrees high in the south-southwest as twilight fades to darkness and doesn't dip below the horizon until close to midnight local daylight time. Saturn shines at a magnitude of 0.5 against the backdrop of southern Serpent Bearer, a constellation whose brightest star glows 6 times fainter than the planet. When viewed through a telescope, Saturn's globe measures 17 inches across, while its spectacular ring system spans 38 inches and tilts 27 degrees. You hear all those 9/11s there? And that's tilting 27 degrees to our line of sight, by the way. As you gaze upon Saturn from afar this evening, it's the first time in more than 13 years, 13, 4, 11, 11, that the Cassini spacecraft is not observing the ringed planet from up close. The robotic probe burned up in the gas giant's atmosphere earlier today, it says. So earlier today, I would presume, is the day on which this was posted. And that was Friday, September 8th of this week. So I have to figure that's the day that probe caught ablaze and burned. Saturday, September 16th. Mercury and Mars have appeared near each other in the pre-dawn twilight all week, but they make their closest approach this morning. For the North American observers, they slide just 0.25 degrees, which is half of the full moon's diameter, apart and lie in the same low power field through a telescope. Mercury spans 6.4 inches and is about 2/3 lit. Mars is 3.6 inches across and full. And lastly, Sunday, September 17th, the waning crescent moon points toward 3 planets and a star this morning. The slim crescent stands 6 degrees above Venus, with Leo the Lion's luminary magnitude 1.4 Regulus 3 degrees below the planet. Mars and Mercury huddle 11 degrees below Venus. Sounds like a 3-way, maybe a triangle, with Mars and Mercury both being aggressive, especially Mars, masculine energies, planets, huddling below Venus, the very feminine planet and goddess of love and money. This evening provides a nice opportunity to see Saturn's 7 brightest moons through a telescope. The toughest to spot normally are the 2 inner ones, Mimas, M-I-M-A-S, and Enceladus, E-N-C-E-L-A-D-U-S, which never stray far from the ring's glare. But tonight, the 2 satellites reach greatest western elongation within 2 hours of each other. Tethys, T-E-T-H-Y-S, Dione, D-I-O-N-E, Rhea, R-H-E-A, and Titan, T-I-T-A-N, show up more clearly because they glow brighter and lie farther from the planet. Distant Lapetus, L-A-P-E-T-U-S, rounds out Saturn's magnificent 7, which are the satellites that will be on display from this planet. If you draw a line from Saturn to 8th magnitude Titan and extend it an equal distance 11th magnitude, Lapetus will be right there. And that's what's going on in the sky this week. I also wanted to give you some, I guess, trivia about the date, September 11th. I was moved to do that. I used to do it often when I would, especially when I did the dailies and stuff. So I haven't done this in a while. So this is from Wikipedia, by the way. September 11th is the 254th day of the year. 11, right? 254 equals 11. And that's according to the Gregorian calendar. After September 11th, there are 111 days remaining until the end of the year. The date is slightly more likely to fall on a Tuesday, Friday, or Sunday. And that's 58 times in 400 years each that it falls on those dates. 58 equals 13 or 4 or 11, 11. It's less likely to occur on a Monday or Saturday, and it says it occurs on those dates 56 or 11 times. Between the years of 1900, this is AD, and 2099, September 11th of the Gregorian calendar is the leap day of the Coptic and Ethiopian calendars. These leap days occur in the years immediately before those which are leap years in the Julian and Gregorian calendars. In all common years of the Coptic and Ethiopian calendars, September 11th is New Year's Day. And that's enough of that. All right, so I got to tell you about, speaking of calendars, the Jewish calendar. All right, let me go to that. This week, nothing happening on the Jewish calendar. I was thinking about next week. Next week, there's a few things. September 21st is Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. So similar to the Ethiopian one I just described. Ethiopians, of course, ancient Ethiopians in particular, original Hebrews. Ethiopia is like one of the few places that I can think of. There's Ethiopia and Palestine, to my recollection right now, that are still existing as they were, where they were on the map and all that kind of stuff during the biblical times and even like the times of the Torah. So we're talking about 5,777 years ago, at least. So that's next week. I'll go more into that next week. Also, September 21st, from my memory recollection, is the feast day of St. Matthew the Apostle. So I'm sure I'll talk about him as well, because I like to tell you guys about the apostles and other people I feel are important to the journey. The Christian or Catholic feast days for the week that are also celebrated, yes, by other Christians and often like Anglicans and Orthodox and things. For this week, on the 12th, Tuesday the 12th, Holy Name of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Thursday, the 14th, Triumph of the Holy Cross. And Friday, the 15th, Our Lady of Sorrows. So yeah, while I have this before me, I was right about next week. The 21st is indeed the feast day of St. Matthew, the evangelist apostle. And I think he'll be the only one of this nature for next week. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about Most Holy Name of the Blessed Virgin Mary. This is from franciscanmedia.org. The story of the Most Holy Name of the Blessed Virgin Mary. This feast is a counterpart to the Feast of the Holy Name of Jesus. Both have the possibility of uniting people easily divided on other matters. The Feast of the Most Holy Name of Mary began in Spain in the year 1513. I'm going to repeat that because I've told you guys many times. And for those of you who have not listened to me before and haven't heard me say this, Mary's real birthday, because we celebrated it yesterday around the world, the 8th, is 613. And years and dates that come up associated with her, probably most famously, her big grandstand at Our Lady of Fatima, where she foretold about all this stuff that's going on, like leading into a World War III and all this kind of stuff that was going to be imminent. All 613. That's her real birthday. And the year 1513 is 613, which of course totals 19, which equals God the Father, in my opinion. So those of you who are familiar with me, again, are familiar with that as well. And I think I've demonstrated that in a few ways too. In any case, so this happened in Spain. It began in Spain, the celebration of Mary and her holy name, in the year 1513. And in 1671, it was extended to all of Spain and the Kingdom of Naples as well. In 1683, or 711, which equals 9, 9's also associated with Mary, John Sobieski, King of Poland, brought an army to the outskirts of Vienna to stop the advance of Muslim armies loyal to Muhammad IV of Constantinople. After Sobieski entrusted himself to the Blessed Virgin Mary, he and his soldiers thoroughly defeated the Muslims. Pope Innocent XI extended this feast to the entire church. Isn't that some name, Pope Innocent and the 11th? Reflection from this site. Mary always points us to God, like I'm trying to do right now, reminding us of God's infinite goodness. She helps us to open our hearts to God's ways, wherever those may lead us. Honored under the title Queen of Peace, Mary encourages us to cooperate with Jesus in building a peace based on justice, a peace that respects the fundamental rights of humans and all peoples, human rights of all peoples. Okay. Our Lady of Sorrows. Our Lady of Sorrows, also known as Our Lady of Dolors, or the Sorrowful Mother, or Mother of Sorrows, and Our Lady of Piety, Our Lady of the Seven Sorrows, and Our Lady of the Seven Dolors, is referred to in relation to the sorrows in her life. It's also a key subject for much of the Marian, or Mariam, art of the Catholic Church. The Seven Sorrows of Mary are a popular Roman Catholic devotion. In common religious Catholic imagery, the Virgin Mary is portrayed in a sorrowful and lacrymating effect, with 7 long knives or daggers piercing her heart, often bleeding. Devotional prayers that consist of meditation began to elaborate on her 7 sorrows based on the prophecy of Simeon. Common examples of piety under this title are Servite Rosary, or the Chaplet of the 7 Sorrows of Our Lady, and the 7 Joys of Mary, and more recently, Sorrowful and Immaculate Heart of Mary. The Feast of Our Lady of Sorrows is liturgically celebrated every 15th of September, while a Feast of Friday of Sorrows is observed in some Catholic countries as well. And lastly, the Feast of the Cross. I'm realizing I didn't do these in order. The Feast of the Cross, or the Triumph of the Cross, is again the 14th, and Our Lady of Sorrows is recognized on the 15th. Something else. Oh, September 11th. Now this is my feeling. I feel like I've demonstrated it also a few times, but I'm like 99% to use Mary's number. Sold on it myself, so I'm not 100%. But September 11th, I think also the true birthday of Jesus. And from the moment I started tarot, so many of you know that I never studied tarot. The whole thing, my whole tarot experience in life is one big download, where the angels told me I could do it, and that I was to do it. I was to begin doing it on March 10th, 2016. And I did, and they told me that I could do it. And from then I've been doing it. From the moment I first picked up the Hierophant and was told that it represented a Taurus in the tarot, I said, no, the Hierophant's a Virgo. The Hierophant's a Virgo. The high priest is the Virgo. And who is the high priest? Jesus. So that's one of the things that's just logical to me. In any case, the Feast of the Cross. This is from Wikipedia. In the Christian liturgical calendar, there are several different feasts of the cross, all which commemorate the cross used in the crucifixion of Jesus. While Good Friday is dedicated to the Passion of the Christ and to the crucifixion, these days celebrate the cross itself as an instrument of salvation. In English, it's called the Exaltation of the Holy Cross in the official translation of the Roman Missal, while the 1973 translation called it the Triumph of the Cross. In some parts of the Anglican community, the feast is called Holy Cross Day, a day used by Lutherans as well, or name also used by Lutherans as well. The celebration is also sometimes called Holy Rood Day, R-O-O-D. As per some Christian tradition, the true cross was discovered in the year 326 which is 11, by Saint Helena, or Helena, Helena, the mother of the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great, during a pilgrimage she made to Jerusalem. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre was then built at the site of the discovery by order of Helena and Constantine. The church was dedicated 9 years later. There goes another 9. With a portion of the cross, 1/3 remained in Jerusalem, 1/3 was brought to Rome and deposited in the Caesarean Basilica Santa Croce, C-R-O-C-E. And in parentheses, they have Holy Cross in Jerusalem. And 1/3, or the last third, I guess, was taken to Constantinople to make the city impregnable. The date of the feast marks the dedication of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which again is in the year 335. Or I think this is another 11. The first was, her discovery was in 326, and then they built the church and dedicated it in the year 335. So both equal 11. This was a 2-day festival, although the actual consecration of the church was on September 13th. The cross itself, which equals 13 or 11, right? 9/13 equals 13. The cross itself was brought outside the church on September 14th so that the clergy and the faithful could pray before the true cross, and all could come forward to venerate it. Red is the usual liturgical color in churches that follow such traditions. In Western Christianity, red vestments are worn at church services conducted on this day, as well as Pentecost and other times of celebration. In the Roman Catholic liturgical observance, the red is worn only on this day, and if the day falls on a Sunday. Its mass readings are used instead of those for the occurring Sunday in ordinary time. The lectionaries of the Church of England and other Anglican churches and Western Rite Orthodoxy also stipulate red as the liturgical color for Holy Cross Day. In Eastern Rite Orthodox churches that use various liturgical colors, red vestments are also worn. Yet in these Orthodox churches, the wearing of red continues for a week after the feast. In Western Rite Orthodox parishes, the Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday of the calendar week after the one in which the feast day occurs are designated as one of each year's 4 sets of Ember days, capital EMBER. In new calendar Western Rite Orthodox parishes and those under the Antiochian Diocese, these Ember days are the week following September 14th. In old calendar Western Rite Orthodox parishes, those under the Russian Diocese, these Ember days are the week following September 27th, or 9/9. Until 1969, these Ember days were a part of the Roman Catholic Church. Organization of these celebrations is now left to the decision of the Episcopal conferences in view of local conditions and customs. 7/14 is the feast of the Congregation of the Holy Cross, the Companions of the Cross, and the Episcopal Church's Order of the Holy Cross. This date also marked the beginning of the period of fasting, except on Sundays, and ending on Easter Sunday, that was stipulated for Carmelites in the Carmelite rule of St. Albert. This was in the year 1247. The rule of St. Benedict also prescribes this day as the beginning of a monastic winter, or the period when there are 3 nocturnes of psalms and the reading of matins, which also ends at Easter. And that's that. So here we go with our reading. I'm going to the dice first, as always, and we're going to begin with buy shoes, forget it, and romantic dinner. Spirit still says buy shoes, get a massage, or maybe give one, and email. With that, I'm going to the Angel Tarot. I'm beginning with the 6 of Fire. Victory. Good news, it's on its way. Public recognition or awards. And opening to the 2 of Earth. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. And this song, or this card, reminds me of Rihanna's song, Take a Bow, which I actually heard twice this week. It was weird, actually. I heard it on the radio. And this is after I had mentioned it on one of my videos, maybe the moon one. And then I heard it on Glee. My kids were watching Glee in another room, and somebody started singing Take a Bow. And the part that reminds me of it is this looks like a rerun, which, what else is on, right? Girl, I'm sorry, you're the one. Oops, this looks like a rerun. What else is on? Because this 2 of Earth reminds me quite often of what I call deja vu from hell. It's like, you know, how did we get in the same spot again? Why do we keep ending up here? I can't take it anymore. The 2 of Earth can also indicate a need for balance. Sometimes that's balance between work and play, like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl. So we got to figure out, you know, home life, and we got to have a social life, and we got to work. We got to figure out how to do all those things. Sometimes I feel it's somebody working more than one job, and, you know, them needing to get themselves into balance and to, you know, some me time in there. And this can also indicate there's a need to make a decision. Opposite the 6 of Fire, whatever you do will be the right thing, of course. And, you know, whatever it pertains to in your personal life will end well. Now coming to the Wheel, Major Arcana card, the Wheel, or Wheel of Fortune with Archangel Michael, a time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward and fortune is on your side. The Wheel opposite the 6 of Fire, which is all about victory. Again, very good news for us. The Wheel. Wheel can also be coming through as a person in your life, being a Major Arcana card. It's possible that somebody will help to facilitate at least whatever this abundance is that's coming to you and this positivity that's coming to you. They may very well be a Sagittarius. Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, rules Sagittarius. It's also like an ancient ruler of Pisces, so maybe that too. And I connect the fixed signs with this card as well: Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. And opening to the Emperor with Archangel Michael, which represents the planet Mars for me, and of course the sign of Aries traditionally in the tarot. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, also leadership. The Emperor and the Eight of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over and many things are happening at once. Can also be about communication and perhaps in this case email, since we just saw the die directing us to email. Eight of Fire. I'm going to cut. And it's the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams, that leads to unexpected opportunities. The Dreamer, and this is the Fool in the traditional tarot, but this card, the Dreamer with Archangel Michael, for me represents the planet Mercury. Don't ask how I come up with these things or from where they come. I couldn't tell you. But it represents the planet Mercury, which rules both Gemini and Virgo. And as I just said, going over the astronomy and astrology for the week, Mercury at home in Virgo right now. This is about a leap of faith, a brand new path on which you're about to embark. And our overall energy is more fire and a 19. I was talking about 613 equaling 19. There we go. Father. This represents for me, and as well as the sun. But they are one and the same, right? Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. Oh, look at my ring. Speaking of the sun and Leo, and maybe to make the leap to Ra, it's the Eye of Ra. It's hashtag fan mail. One of my clients gifted this to me in thanks for their Divine Light Cleanse results. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so anyway. The masculine is crowned by the Nine of Water. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. You have a love of life. This is a yes from the Minor Arcana, a resounding yes. Prayers answered, wishes granted. Masculine surrounded by the Chariot. A lot of water so far. With Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower. Public recognition. This is a card of victory. Masculine, maybe get a new car, that coming through. Planes, trains, automobiles, all attached to the energy of this card. It's a card of movement. It can be a card of moving, physically moving from one place to another, one home to another, or job or whatever. But ultimately, yeah, it's a card of victory. Just like that which we began, the Six of Wands. And speaking of wands, in the masculine subconscious, it's the Three of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. His ducks, you know, lining up, getting in a row, with his dreams coming true and abundance finding its way to him. Maybe allowing him to buy a new car or to move, because that came right out. The feminine is crowned by the King of Air. The King of Air could be coming through again because of the Mercury activity this week, the Mercurian energy. The King of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Maybe because of Uranus. Uranus in retrograde since, I think, the 3rd of August. So the star and the email and all that kind of communication, that could be why this is here too. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic is the king of air. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. Feminine surrounded by the page of air as well. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious is the page of air. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. The page of air is known for truth bombs. And when it shows up by you, you could be dropping some or someone could drop some on you. Keep in mind, though, the page of air always means well. You know, it's not a malicious sort of truth bomb. It just is what it is, and it comes flying out of their mouths. This can also be reflective of delays, something that you've been waiting for. It's held up. Or maybe someone you've been waiting for. Maybe some of you looking for news, looking to hear from a king of air, and you haven't. Or maybe you haven't heard from whomever of whatever zodiac sign you were looking to hear from. You didn't hear from it because of the king of air, because of the planet Mercury and the retrograde. It has held up that communication, because a lot of us can't even talk during those periods. And if we do, it doesn't go well. What comes out is not what we meant and all that kind of thing. So more air for the feminine in our subconscious is the two of air. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. So maybe we're waiting on information again, and it didn't come in. It's delayed. It didn't come in because of Mercury retrograde. Crowning the union, Knight of Earth, loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind is the Knight of Earth. And so this is now like a full Mercury in Virgo, perhaps. Because Knight of Earth can, of course, be a Virgo, Capricorn, or a Taurus in your life, whether it's particularly impactful this week. Can be you or anybody taking on this, you know, these attributes if they're not of those zodiac signs. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. At the root, it's the Empress with Archangel Gabriel. Here comes Venus, just like described in the astronomy. All these planets showing up here, all right? The Chariot represents the sign of Cancer. That's the moon. We didn't talk about the moon this week, but the moon's still, the energy of last week still over us. I just talked about Regulus and Leo and all that kind of stuff. Here's the sun here. When I pick up the sun, by the way, I guess we were meant to see this, the Two of Waters underneath it. Relationships that continue to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. So where we did have some difficulty, maybe again because of Mercury retrograde, this a good week to settle those differences. And maybe because of Venus, right? Venus, goddess of love and money, maybe more loving energy being shown to one another. But I was saying all the planets that we just discussed all popping up here. So the Empress, yes, represents for me the planet Venus, which rules both Taurus and Libra, and is about abundance and birth of new ideas and new relationships and relationships anew, and you know, just about it. It's about fertility. It's about fertility. Something may be going on with somebody's mother this week too. I don't feel negative about it. Especially with the sun here, maybe somebody's mother is ill, but it'll be all right. Like this is the overall energy. Somebody's mother, or perhaps somebody's child. Maybe a child needs an X-ray, or somebody needs an MRI or something like that. But that's going to be fine. And here at the heart of the matter, the Queen of Earth, thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth is a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, and quite very well possibly the goddess or planet Venus coming through. So as it relates to abundance this week, I'd say things look pretty good. Masculine with his prayers answered, things moving forward for him, maybe even physically. He may have even gotten a new mode of transportation, a new car or something. Somebody may be traveling, taking a trip, you're getting to go on vacation. That could have been your wish. The abundance coming through for you, your ship's finally coming in. that's here. Here you're in the driver's seat. I keep seeing this driving thing, this car, and nothing negative about the car. So feeling good with that, with the masculine. These this whole row here that's shared between the two is all indicative of abundance coming in, of flow, financial, monetary, material, all of these things positive in our life this week, with the Knight of Earth, the Queen of Earth, and the Empress, major arcana card, the Empress, you know, representing the goddess whose domain the finances and material is. The King of Air is about us getting ourselves together, organization, and all these things. And of course, the Page of Air again can indicate that there had been a delay with some of this. Maybe we've been waiting for news of the abundance. We've been waiting for the physical abundance to come in. We've been waiting for a new job, waiting to hear back from a company to which we applied, you know, waiting to hear about a loan, waiting to hear about some credit. Finally, news coming in. And some of us may need to make a decision about some of these things. Maybe a decision. Do I take this job? It is the job I asked for. It is the job of my dreams. Am I going to accept it? That's a decision that we'll have to make on a, you know, case by case, individual basis. I'm going to see now what else the Ascended Masters may add to this spread, beginning with spiritual law of attraction. So some of this stuff we may be getting because it's the energy that we put out, and now it's being returned to us. We put the effort in, and now here it is. As it relates to love, and as these cards relate to love, certainly the Empress again can be about the birth of a new relationship, or a relationship anew, especially with the Sun here and the Two of Water underneath it, conflicts being resolved. And so now these relationships coming back together, we're reuniting. And the Knight and Queen can be representing a couple with some earth in their charts, or these sort of tendencies, at least this week, being very warm and compassionate toward one another, and can also indicate longevity and in the relationship. And especially sitting here next to the Chariot, like the relationship can go the distance. It can travel, it can move, go, you know, a long way. I've opened to open your heart to love, and Jesus opposite the spiritual law of attraction. So we put out love and positivity. That's what we're going to get back. Spiritual law of attraction. And nurture yourself, says Mother Mary, which is the Queen of Earth here at the heart of the matter, and or the planet Venus, and our mother, hopefully, or us as mothers, us as parents, naturally nurturing to others. So learn to do it to yourself too. Spiritual law of attraction. And opening to St. Francis, follow your heart. So the Ascended Master cards thus far trying to take this toward a love reading. This is the general spiritual law of attraction. And clear and shield your energy, says El Moria. Clear and shield your energy. I'll go one more. Oh, they're showing us two. Okay, the first is retreat into nature and the green man. Anytime the green man shows up, it's like the equivalent of the Empress for me. It's news of abundance, love and money, just like Venus. It's also an indication that we need to spend some time in nature. And the Empress can be that for me too, as well as the Queen of Earth. We need to, you know, get out if we at all in an area that's conducive to us doing so. Spend some time outside. If you need to do some meditation, do it outside. And also we were being shown that we're seeing this situation accurately, says Horus. Clear and shield your energy. And fertility, just like the Empress, the birth of new things. We're fertile with ideas, we're fertile with plans, we're fertile with movement. Where we had been stagnant, especially crossing the Chariot here. We're just, you know, things are going our way now. And some of us actually maybe becoming pregnant and or having children this week with fertility and the Empress. Clear and shield your energy. I'm going to cut. Positive change, so more Wheel of Fortune-like energy, says Parvati. Health and healing and Hilarion is our overall energy here. Atop the 9 of water in these wishes granted. Priorities, says King Solomon. Atop the Chariot, some of us are moving away from something that was toxic. Something, someone, someplace that was toxic. And I was looking at the position of the Chariot, the direction in which it was heading. It's going that way. So that is like away. But in combination with white Torah and purification, it's moving away from something that no longer serves us, or someone, a relationship or whatever, especially since it was taking us in the area of love before. That may be why our overall energy is health and healing, and why underneath that is find the blessing in your current situation. So if a situation is ending in your life, the positivity is still that a new one is beginning, right? With the Empress, the fertility, the new, the birth of the new. Atop the 3 of fire, which can, in the general sense, certainly be about creativity and making things happen for yourself, and expressiveness, is artistic expression in Paul the Venetian. So coming up with creative ways to earn money and, you know, to make our passions maybe become our job, end up doing something that we love. And that can go with people too, about whom we're passionate. Let's make that our priority. Let's make removing what, again, does not work for us and who does not work for us from our life a priority, so that we whom and what does make, you know, our creative juices flow and our passions burn. Atop the King of Air, balance, career, and home life, says Isis. So the King of Air can be about, again, organizing yourself. Here it says balance, mental and emotional considerations. It can be about just that as well, balancing to organizing our life where that is concerned, making sure that we have, we put time in our schedule for, again, a social life for ourselves, a family life for ourselves, you know, some me time, alone time, private time, whatever it is we need. And of course, time to work. Atop the Page of Air, open your heart to love, says Jesus. That may be one of the things that has been delayed. We may have been closed off, again, in part because of Mercury retrograde. Some of us may have been closed off or distant from other people. And now the energy shifting so that we can move back into a place of love. Atop the 2 of Air, whatever the decision is that you have to make, feminine, that you're pondering, Mary says nurture yourself. So what you're going to choose what best serves you of whatever your choices are, if you follow the guidance of Mary. And I love how, you know, the 2 vibrations of the mother of all, the queen of all mothers, is crowning, both crowning and at the root. And crowning the union here atop the Knight of Earth, energy healing, says Merlin, which I think energy healing is going to remain big. At least in my life, it's showing up that way, that I'm to keep working with people on energy healing. And not only Divine Light Cleanse, I actually offer 3 different forms of healing. And I would hope that, you know, the spiritual guidance and counseling that I give to people, although I tend not to charge for that, I would hope that that's also healing to them, and even the readings. But I've been guided to, like I was saying, continue to focus on that rather than, like, I was going to put out the dailies, but it's like if enough people aren't going to, you know, participate in the readings and the conversations that we have together and watch them and whatever, and people are seeking healing, and that's what the cards are showing, you know, maybe I need to sure, I'd love to do the daily readings. I'd love to put them out, but not if it's going to be a waste of energy. Maybe I need to remain focused and healing my own energy and maintaining my own balance. Maybe I need to continue to focus on working with people on healing theirs. So that's just my experience. And again, it keeps showing up in the cards week after week lately. So I think that this is our major focus with regard to the collective, or where the collective is concerned. This is our priority. Energy healing is our priority. Detoxing ourselves is our priority. Balancing, finding balance, yin and yang, peace, and balancing our lives too is our priority. It's for our own health and healing. At the root, atop the Empress, go now. So right away, I see the connection here. These two cards crossing, the purification and the go now. Masculine, where you have, and sitting here atop the Chariot that's facing that way, where you haven't left a toxic situation of whatever nature, and you know that you were supposed to go now. Like, you know, nurture yourself too. You have a feminine side as well. You can pick up on this card and use this card. Open your heart to love, and that includes toward yourself too, and do what's best for you. Purify your life. Heal your energy. At the heart of the matter, atop the Queen of Earth, work your magic, says Saint Germain. And this is coming through with regard to the creativity and making things happen for yourself. Here crossing the artistic expression, which again sits atop the Three of Wands, all about creativity and sort of integrating that into our like professional lives, or however we earn money and become abundant. Integrating these through, and the whole row at that point becomes about, you know, potentially earning doing what makes us happy, but not forgetting to also make time for other things. I'm going to go to advice. And I wanted to do a card for each from the Isis Oracle this week as well. I'm beginning with Miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. So speaking of that, and here she is as Venus, and here she is as Mary, and we had that overall energy of healing. So this must be the overlying theme for us. Healing of the goddess. The mother of life. Did I just say the queen of all, the mother of all? Yeah. That being reaffirmed here. Nourishment of the golden grain mother. Mother of life. And scales of balance. Scales of balance at the bottom says ancient tantra of the soul. So it really is about energy healing again, that maintaining that balance for your own health, for your soul's health. Mother of life back. And opening to the dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. Mother of life. I'll go ahead and cut. Oh, that was a lot. Divine sisterhood, community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light, capital L. And the overall energy is the key of life, spinning the Ankh, the key of life. So from the Ascended Masters to the masculine, detach from drama, boom. I mean, I think that was clear already what you have to do. Prioritize yourself, detoxify your life so that you can open up the flow and be happy doing what and who you're doing or you want to do. Feminine, listen. Listen to the messages that your body's sending you of opening your heart to love, and the need to take a break and find some time for yourself in balancing career and home life, and the same where it comes to remembering to nurture yourself here. Listen. From the angels to the masculine, the two of fire. You've come into your own new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. This is what comes about when we leave the other alone. Our flow is open. Again, as it relates to business, as it relates to romance, as it relates to both, all of that begins to work. And we have the progression here now with the 2 and the 3 of fire or wands. Feminine, to us, the king of fire. Motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic is the king of fire. It's also a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries that may be particularly impactful upon us this week. Maybe ourselves. This may be our own energy. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision. Be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. And lastly, from the Isis oracle to the masculine. Chariot of ascension. So this is about you being in the driver's seat, but also being led maybe by an angel like this, by maybe Archangel Metatron, to a higher elevation with regard to your spirit, your soul. Spiritual work of the higher initiate. Mother is giving you a promotion, is what this means. And feminine for us, talismans of potency, charging sacred objects of power. And I'll get the book and read at least the summary of each card for us. Chariot of Ascension, Merkaba, spiritual work of the higher initiate. Your soul wishes to travel, right? Just like the chariot card indicated. It wishes to travel more freely between the dimensions of higher reality. This is to allow for conscious spirit communication, the free flow of soul light into the physical body. Here's the flow again, the flow of abundance, right? The flow of your soul's light. It's also to allow for the joining in divine harmony of heaven and earth. It requires a powerful consciousness to do this. The Merkaba, chariot of ascension, and soul fire is the spiritual gift to attain these divine purposes now, available to you as a high initiate. There are times when the soul becomes ambitious and wishes to live its entire light in conscious oneness with all expressions of its being, including the physical body. It may wish to do so simply because it's the nature of all beings to eventually realize themselves as divine, or because it needs specific new skills to be able to be available to the human expression in the physical body so it can continue with divine purpose. Those skills might be channeling divine energy or consciousness for healing. It's there. Traveling easily between the worlds for conscious spirit communication, gaining greater artistic or creative ability because it feels wonderful to create, or any number of other purposes. This oracle brings you guidance that a special spiritual practice has come or is soon coming to your attention that will help your soul to reach you more fully. It will be an advanced practice, and it will serve you well at this time in your journey to reach the higher levels of capacity and spiritual responsibility that are available to you as a high initiate. Peace to you, beloved. Your spiritual work on this planet is greatly supported. The Chariot of Ascension Oracle also offers you a particular sacred teaching from the priestess of high initiates, Lady Isis. This is the practice of the Merkaba, or soul vehicle, or chariot of ascension. This vehicle is an energetic structure of sacred geometry that strengthens and protects you, allowing for your consciousness to travel instantaneously and freely between dimensions and realities without compromising your vibration or damaging your energy bodies. And I don't know if you just heard those car horns. Nothing but sirens ever comes through my windows, but as I was talking about the vehicle, I just heard car horns. Merkaba is a vehicle of great strength and power, and is best used with a heart dedicated in unconditional love and service. It can be used to travel on their inner planes to stars and temples for higher guidance in an instant, as well as to connect with other souls on the inner planes at various levels of evolution. It is recommended that such a practice only be used with permission granted from the soul in question and from a place of love and intention to be of healing service. Merkaba allows you to travel without the usual restraints upon your energy field. But like any powerful practice, there is a wise caution. You will travel and experience what is in your heart. Keep your heart open and clear. Do not use Merkaba if you're feeling uncentered, ungrounded, disconnected, or angry. It is a technique to use when you're feeling peaceful and aligned within yourself. At such times, great growth in consciousness is possible for you using Merkaba. The Oracle of the Chariot of Ascension is a gift of high-level spiritual training. Your wisdom in using what you've learned helps you make the most of this sacred gift. This oracle is as much about receiving the training as it is about knowing when to apply it and when to have restraint. The Oracle of the Chariot of Ascension is also confirmation that you're growing spiritually and becoming ready for greater tasks and spiritual responsibilities. If you've been considering taking a step to engage in teaching or healing, in studying or practicing at a higher level, whether spiritually or in your chosen field, whatever rocks your boat, whatever about which you feel passionate, right, or creative, you are encouraged to follow your heart, right? Follow your heart and your destiny. Be bold. Say yes to yourself. The Chariot of Ascension speaks of rising destinies and success. Wow, that was awesome for you guys. Let's get to the feminines. Today? Talismans of potency, charging sacred objects of power. Sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field, focusing your power and intention, helping you to heal the split between spirit and matter, and learning to bring physical matter more deeply into light and life. You are encouraged to work with sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment of the material world as a part of your spiritual practice. Your love for the physical world of matter is a gift to the earth too. You are guided to cleanse and to charge sacred objects to empower your energy field and to accomplish your spiritual mission now. These objects might be a wand, a chalice, or a sword, a bowl, or even a special tile with an image that you love, a statue, cloth with a beautiful design, a natural crystal, or a black mirror, a rock, a shell, a feather that you found, something waiting for you whilst out in nature one day. If finding a gift in nature, it is wise to ask the spirit of the earth if the item in question is intended for your healing work. And if you feel it is, then of course receive it with gratitude. If not, bless it and move on. This oracle is seeking to draw your awareness to your special ability to work with materials and objects to awaken spiritual light within them. The material world is filled with light, and our loving attention can help awaken the light within form. In the same way that someone seeing the best in you, knowing what you're truly capable of, can help you to reach your dreams and to become that self more fully. So too can holding an awareness that just like our bodies, the material world holds its own light and benefits from love, attention, and care. This is the loving art of integrating spirit into matter. And it is part of your spiritual potency and healing gift to be able to love the physical world as an element of your spiritual journey. Objects become talismans when they're cleansed. dedicated and charged with sacred intent. Then this consecration, or the rendering of something into sacredness, this is consecration rather. Talismans are a way to enjoy a spiritual relationship with the material world. It is not a matter of not being able to work without them, but more of an enjoyment and beauty of working with the material world in a spiritual way. This is also a way to heal any difficult relationship that you may have had with your mother, your body, eating and food, or with financial or physical security. It can also include difficulties in bringing your ideas into physical form. Living your path in a practical and material way, and any other issues that stem from a wounded relationship to matter. Somehow seeing it as less than spirit. What wonderful and varied healing effects talismans can bring to us. It all starts with the honoring of light in matter, the sacredness of the material world. If you've been considering working with crystals for healing, or tarot cards, or physical tools for spiritual growth, you are encouraged to do so by the Oracle of Talismans of Potency. They will help you to grow and become empowered. If you have an object in your space that you've been thinking of cleansing, perhaps a crystal or a piece of jewelry, this oracle encourages you to do so using breath, salt, moonlight, or sound as you so choose. I personally recommend carnelian. It is a major cleansing stone, and it is the goddess Isis's favorite. In fact, her stone, the blood of Isis, is itself carnelian. It's specifically gem quality carnelian found only in the Red Sea. The ring that I wear on my pinky sometimes is in blood of Isis ring. If you have an object in your space that you've been thinking of cleansing, perhaps a crystal, a piece of jewelry, this oracle encourages you to do so using breath, salt, moonlight, or sound as you so choose. Remember that objects in the material world hold vibrations too. Cleansing with love and intention to dissipate negative energy is a way to care for the material world, helping to awaken the light within it. If you've been considering building sacred jewelry, I guess that means creating, making, or purchasing a crystal or other healing tool, you're encouraged to do so and to learn to work with it. The Oracle of Talismans of Potency supports you in honoring the physical world and its beauty in your life in this way. I hope that you guys find this week's reading helpful and enjoy it. Continue to be safe. And if you're among the illumined and or elect, I tell you, I guarantee that you will be. That's what my faith says and my belief says. That's what the word capital W says. Namaste, angels.